Everyone called him an idiot, but he got richer every time. Let's react to this video, but first let's give credit to Montelago. I hope I'm pronouncing it well. Congrats for getting 1,000 subscribers. This video I think is one of your best videos, 13k views, so well done. It's a really nice and informative video. And now guys, we're going to be reacting to it. I just had to give credit where it's due.
Imagine a man so stupid that his own neighbors turned his life into a game. The game
Bang.
was simple. Think of the single dumbest business idea you possibly can. Something guaranteed to lose money, so idiotic no person alive could profit from it. Then walk over to this man, keep a straight face, and tell him it's a brilliant investment. They played this game for years, the richest men in town taking turns, waiting for the day it finally bankrupted him and ran him out of town for good. Here's the part they couldn't explain. It kept making him richer. Not once, not by
Lol.
luck. Again and again, every single time, the most idiotic idea they could invent turned to gold in this man's hands, until the people trying to destroy him.
Bro has the Midas touch or something, but for like investments, I wish this type of I don't know if I should call it luck that I need in my life, that we all need in our life, that my subscribers will have in their life. So subscribe.
Started to wonder if they were the stupid ones. And by the
Maybe.
end of this, you'll have to decide something people still can't agree on. Whether you just watch the luckiest fool who ever lived, or the most brilliant con man in American history, hiding in plain sight. His name was Timothy Dexter, and to understand why everyone was so sure he was an idiot, you have to start with where he came from. He was born in 1747, dirt poor, on a farm in Massachusetts. He got maybe a few months of schooling in his whole
Massachusetts.
life.
That's cool.
He could barely read, and he could barely write. At 8, he was working as a farmhand. At 16, he was apprenticed to a man who made leather goods, and that was his whole education. Dirt and leather. By every measure the world uses to size a person up, Timothy Dexter was nothing and was going to stay nothing. Except for one move. The first clue that
Sorry, I just had to say, don't use my education to determine where I'm going to be in life and what I'm going to amount to. That's crap.
maybe something else was going on.
You also shouldn't do that. Don't let anyone tell you that because of so thing in your life, it means you're not going to amount to much, or they try to tell you where you can amount to. No, you are the one who decides that.
At 22, this penniless, barely literate leather worker somehow convinced a wealthy widow to marry him. She had money, she had a house, and just like that, Dexter had the one thing he'd never had: a stake. Now, hold on, because here's where he made the bet everyone thought would ruin him. It's the American Revolution. The
I'm sorry, but I don't know how he managed to pull that, but maybe it's part of his luck. But congrats to him. That's one way to change your life.
colonies are printing their own money, continental currency, and
Mhm.
as the war drags on, it becomes a joke, worth pennies on the dollar. Everyone with any sense is dumping it as fast as they can. Timothy Dexter did the opposite. He took his money and his wife's money and bought up piles of the worthless stuff nobody wanted. The whole town watched the fool pour his fortune into paper that would never be worth anything, and they laughed.
Never say
And then the war ended,
never.
a new country formed, and the new government's financial system gave holders of that discarded currency a path to trade it in and recover its value.
W government.
Overnight, the worthless paper Dexter had been hoarding became a fortune. He was suddenly genuinely rich. And this is where the story gets uncomfortable, because a lucky idiot can win once. But Dexter was about to make a habit of it, and the more it happened, the harder it became to call it luck at all.
I don't know if it was luck. However, it's actually really cool to be able to take such a risk. Not cool because it's like, oh, that's so cool, or something you should do. But I think it took some logical reasoning. Yeah, everyone thought, oh, it was going to lose value. I guess they probably grew up with other forms of currency, and this paper currency was introduced newly, and then it started to basically decline and become worthless. So of course they had no, they didn't rate it, they didn't think it was all that. It was just, oh, it came and it's going. That's what they thought. And I bet it was actually harder for the rich people because they're used to having a lot of maybe gold, for example, minerals. So they are more closed off to new things. So of course it was even easier for them. to forego it, to forsake it. However, this guy who probably didn't have much, he was like, he decided maybe because of that. Obviously, there were a lot of people who have been in the same situation, but he was able to now decide to take the risk that he's going to keep this. And I feel like it would have come from a non-biased point of view, and that's what part of what made him lucky. Right. I think I would have made such a choice. I don't know. I wouldn't have taken my wife's money, though it was good for him because it increases investment. But at least with the money that I have, I will have made the same investment. Just why not? Let's see where it goes.
because now he had money and wanted the one thing it couldn't buy:
Status.
respect. He
Mm.
wanted in with the town's elite, and they wanted nothing to do with him. To them, he was a crude, uneducated embarrassment who'd stumbled into wealth he didn't deserve. So they came up with a plan. Dexter had started buying ships to become a proper merchant, and the merchants of Newburyport saw their opening. They'd feed him terrible advice, dressed up as insider tips, the most ruinous trades they could invent. He'd sink his fortune, lose everything, and finally be gone. Here was the first one. One of them suggested, straight faced, that Dexter ship bed warming pans to the West Indies. Think about how cruel that is. A bed warming pan is a metal pan you fill with hot coals to warm a freezing bed on a New
Yeah.
England winter night.
You're shipping it
The West
to
Indies
a
is a
hot
tropical
climate.
paradise where it is never cold. It's like shipping snow shovels to the desert, a guaranteed total loss.
Well, you can
Dexter
use snow
loved the
shovels
idea.
for
He bought
sand.
thousands of the pans, some accounts say over 40,000, and shipped them south. The merchants could hardly contain themselves. Finally, and then the ships came back with a profit. Because Dexter's man on the ground took one look at these long-handled metal scoops with lids and realized they were perfect for ladling hot molasses in
W worker, W mans.
the booming sugar industry. He slapped new handles on them, called them molasses ladles, and the plantation owners bought every one. Some ordered more. The trap had sprung on the people who said it. Now, if you're one of those merchants, you tell yourself it was a fluke. So you try again.
Yeah, it does kind of look like a fluke, but then it was really like a show of ingenuity for his man on the ground.
Harder. They told him to ship wool mittens to the same tropical islands. Idiotic. But his mittens sat in port exactly when a fleet of Asian merchant ships came through. Ships headed to cold Siberia, who bought the whole lot.
Whoa, what the
They
fuck?
told him to ship
Wait. Now, okay, now this guy is just lucky. Like, yeah, luck is just preparation meeting opportunity. But what are the odds that your enemies told you some random stuff to do and then you did it and you just happened to be at the right place at the right time where the people who needed it? That's crazy. That's luck. Like, it's dumb luck. It's not even preparation and opportunity. That's just dumb luck. But preparation and opportunity still also has a place to play in this. And I don't know why this video is turning into like a motivation now type of video from me, but luck isn't just crazy dumb luck. Like that's a part of luck, but to me, luck is preparation and opportunity. When you prepare for something, you have to be in the right place where that luck is going to happen. Right? So when you prepare, that's once this luck comes to you, once this opportunity comes to you, then you will be in the right place to capitalize on it. There are lots of people who gain opportunities but can't do anything with it because they were not prepared for it. So preparation when it meets opportunity, that is what humans call luck. So you have to, I don't know what it is you're going through in your life. I don't know the job you're trying to get and all of that. But make sure you're always prepared so that when opportunity comes, you don't miss it. I don't know why this is a motivational video, but yeah, let's go.
stray cats to the Caribbean. A ship full of cats. What could be dumber? Except the islands were in the middle of a rat infestation, and the cats
Huh? No, what is this luck? What? What? Now I'm dumbfounded. Yeah, take cats. Like nobody would have ever thought that was a good idea. I don't even know why he did it, but he did. And boom, they just happen to have a rat infestation. I think he has the gods on his side. So I don't even know what to say because maybe the gods are creating the problems when they see that, oh, he has something that's useless. So let's make it useful. That's the only thing that makes sense. Some people are just blessed, I guess.
sold at a premium as pest control.
Dang.
And at this point, something changed. They weren't laughing at Dexter anymore. They were starting to study
You can't even laugh at him anymore. Like, you'll be wondering how can coincidence upon coincidence keep happening?
him uneasy because somehow every attempt to prove he was an idiot kept turning into evidence that he wasn't. So they stopped trying to be clever and reached for the most obviously, definitively stupid idea that had ever existed. They told him to ship coal, of all things, to Newcastle, and you have to understand what a savage insult that was. Newcastle was the coal capital of the world, so overflowing with it that carrying coals to Newcastle was already a phrase meaning to do something completely pointless. It was the townsfolk's masterpiece, the single most obviously doomed trade imaginable. Dexter shipped the coal.
Wait, please don't tell me they're going to say he shipped the coal and maybe they ran out of coal, so his coal came at the right time. Because if they say that, then this is just forget luck, preparation meets opportunity. This guy is just the luckiest man on earth. And I've heard a story about the luckiest man on earth who survived so many crashes, airplane crashes, car crashes. And this guy was clearly his progenitor, the one before him.
And his ships arrived in the middle of a miners' strike.
Of
The
course,
mines had
of
stopped.
course,
The coal
of
capital of the
fucking
world had, for the
course.
first time in memory, run out of
Wow,
coal.
of
And here
course.
came Dexter's ships, loaded with the one thing a desperate city needed
I need this kind of stupid luck. We all need this kind of stupid luck.
and could not get. As the story goes, he sold it all at a massive premium and sailed
That is
home with a
wild,
barrel and a
bro.
half of
That
silver.
is wild.
He had turned the very definition of a
Damn,
pointless act into one of the most profitable trades of his life.
bro.
Sit with the full weight of that pattern for a second. Every single time, the currency,
I would, if I was this guy's enemy, I would be so pained. I would be so pained. I would probably die of frustration.
the pans, the mittens, the cats, the coal, the worst idea in the world made him richer. The men who set out to ruin him had spent years handing him one fortune after another.
Bro.
One was heard to say the man could fall into a pit of manure and come up smelling of roses. So now we arrive at the question this whole video has been building to, the
Mm.
one people have never really been able to settle. Was Timothy Dexter a fool? The case that he was is strong, and it's not just the trades. Once
Okay. Okay. Let's hear him out, and then we will
he
decide.
was rich, Dexter behaved like a man with no sense at all. He declared himself a lord in a country that had just fought a war to abolish nobility. He filled his mansion grounds with 40 enormous wooden statues of the great men of history, and standing right among them, a giant statue of himself
I love
inscribed,
this guy.
I am the
Self
first in
love.
the East, the first in the West, and the
Bar.
greatest philosopher in the Western world.
Okay, bro.
He
Okay,
hired a personal
Brody.
poet whose only job was to follow him around and praise him. He wrote a book,
Bro got a bard.
8,000 words of misspelled gibberish with not a single punctuation mark.
And sell it again for more. Thus is the way to grow riches. The funny thing is, although it might be shitty, if he actually does have knowledge and he put the knowledge in the book, even though the spelling was really bad, people would still be able to draw knowledge from it.
Mark in it. And when readers complained they couldn't understand it, Dexter printed a new edition with an extra page at the back containing nothing but a block of punctuation marks,
Bro said, do it yourself.
with a note telling readers to his words, peeper and salt it as they please.
Peeper.
Sprinkle them in wherever you like.
Bro.
And near the end of his
Is that sad? I don't even know what to say about this guy anymore. Maybe he might just be a genius.
life, Dexter faked his own death, staging
Of
a full
course.
funeral,
Of
complete
course
with a
he did.
coffin, just to see how many people would mourn him. Around 3,000 showed up. And
That's
Dexter,
pretty cool, actually.
very much alive, watched the whole thing from hiding,
Sicko.
furious by his own account that his wife wasn't crying nearly hard enough. That is not on its face the behavior of a stable genius.
Wait. So you faked your own death and you didn't inform your wife? You actually wanted to see how sad she would be, and then you were furious that your wife wasn't as sad as she should have been. What the fuck, bro?
But, and here is the honest turn, look again at
Wait,
a
what did he say?
stable genius, trying nearly hard enough. That is not on its face the behavior of a stable genius.
I
But,
mean,
and here is
it depends on how you look at it though, because yeah, well, it does have a large part to play that it's luck. That's very certain because some of these things are just absurd. No human being could have logically prepared for all the opportunities that he got. So it's crazy. He's definitely lucky, but then the ability to still capitalize even on that luck is still in its own way smart, because he could have sold the coal and not made money from it. Let's say he didn't have a business sense, he would have sold it mm, maybe at normal price instead of selling it at a premium. Even the cats, he could have sold them normal price at a premium. Like being able to also still capitalize on that luck is still a skill on its own. And if he really is a genius, I think a lot of geniuses of the past were weird in their own way. I think when you're so smart, you just need to do something crazy to boost, to like keep you entertained, because your brain is just operating on a different standard and a different level. So I think geniuses probably are just weird in general. This guy is a little crazy, but that's why you have the term mad genius and crazy scientists, because they're very smart, but they must do some weird, crazy things.
Is the honest turn. Look again at everything he did, and a different man appears underneath. The currency bet wasn't insane. It was a bold gamble on the new nation honoring its debts. The absurd trades all shared one quiet thing. They worked because of timing, clever agents on the ground, and a man willing to take risks sensible people were too proud to touch.
Actually, though, like, I don't know if he was dumb and that's why he listened to his friends, but his willingness to take that risk, regardless, has to be commended. Whether it was just out of stupidity or actual leak, or maybe actually because he believed that he could make it work somehow, and then he just got lucky.
And the outrageous behavior, the Lord title, the statues, the fake funeral, the book, every one of those stunts got him the thing he'd been denied his whole life.
Attention.
Attention, his name
Exactly.
everywhere, on everyone's lips. The fool, it turns out, understood publicity 200 years before it had.
Real, actually, because no matter how you want to think about it, this is PR. Like, it's just public relations. This is what companies do. Some people say good press, bad press. They say negative press is still press. It's still attention. You're still getting attention to yourself or to your company, right? And that's literally what this guy did, doing all these crazy stunts. And now he has all the attention he ever wanted, and maybe more.
Had a name. So which was he? And the only honest answer is that we'll never know. And
Eh,
that's the whole point of him.
actually,
Maybe he was a genuine idiot the universe refused to let fail. Maybe he
yeah,
was a sharp, strange man who figured out that if the elite won't let you in the front door, you buy your way to immortality by becoming the greatest spectacle anyone's ever seen.
maybe.
Or maybe the reason he kept winning is the exact same reason they all called him a fool. He was the one man in town willing to do the thing everybody knew was stupid.
Just do it, guys. Sometimes when you can't decide, maybe just do it. And then, like, rid yourself of, oh, what if it fails? What if it doesn't fail? Just don't think about what could go wrong. Like, even if it goes wrong, don't think about that. Okay? Just do it sometimes.
Because everybody knew you couldn't sell coal to Newcastle.
Yeah.
Everybody except the one man who actually
I
tried.
was dumb enough to try. Again, awesome video from Montelago. I hope I'm pronouncing. Is it Montelago? Is it Montelago? I don't know. Well, it was an awesome video, and I had fun reacting to this. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that he was actually dumb? Do you think he was stupid, but he had stupid luck? Or do you think he was actually low-key a genius and he knew? I think it's 50-50, right? I won't say he was prepared, but his preparation did meet opportunity in a crazy and just like was he went out of proportion, right? But in a good way. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. See you in the next one.